Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to DG Capital, where I talk all things personal finance, investing, and money related. For today's video, we'll be taking a look at one of the best technology ETFs out there for your portfolio to help you capture some phenomenal returns that have come from this space. There's a reason why so many investors are just focused in the tech space, because it produces results. So let's get into it. An ETF or exchange traded fund is a basket holding various stocks that comes pre-packaged together to track or emulate a certain sector, industry, or geographic region. It can also track an index such as the S&P 500 or the TSX 60. The ETF I want to detail in this video tracks the performance of large cap and mid cap companies, all related to technology. The technology sector involves companies that focus on the research, development, and the sale of a broad range of hardware and software products used by businesses and consumers alike. This sector includes household names that you might be familiar with, such as Apple, Google, Facebook. These are the giants in this space. It also includes upcoming and younger companies such as Spotify, Shopify, and Workday. This sector, especially in recent years, has been the main driver of the overall returns produced by the stock markets. The Nasdaq, which is primarily comprised of technology companies, has produced gains of just under 10% so far in 2020 alone. When looking at the same time span, the S&P 500 in comparison has produced a loss of close to 6%. The ETF that I'm talking about in this video has produced gains of 20% in that very same time span. That's double the return of the Nasdaq. COVID-19 did not hold back this ETF from producing monster returns. So, what is this mystery ETF that I'm talking about? Well, the ticker symbol is called TEC. And now, let's talk about some fun facts. Fun or fund? TEC is managed by TD Asset Management. It tracks the benchmark known as the Selective Technology Leaders Index. Keep in mind that all the facts and figures presented in this video are up to date at the time of this recording. So based on when you watch this video, some of these numbers could have changed. The MER for this ETF is 39 basis points. Now what does that mean? That means it costs you $3.90 per year to have this fund professionally managed by TD Asset Management on your behalf. The fund costs that make up the MER are not charged to investors like yourselves directly. Rather, the MER is reflected in the net return of the fund. In other words, this MER does not come out of your pocket directly, nor do you pay anything extra on top. But this is a very important fact for you to consider before you invest in any fund, whether it be an ETF or a mutual fund. The larger the MER, the larger slice gets taken off your return. It has just under $133 million of funds under management. This ETF pays out a quarterly dividend in March, June, September, and December, and the current yield for this dividend is 85 basis points. A lot of tech companies don't pay a dividend, and that's why most of the returns produced by this very ETF comes from capital appreciation. Now, let's take a look at its performance. You can see this fund has produced returns of close to 30% since inception. This fund is no slouch when it comes to producing monster returns. This could really help you reach your long-term goals, whether you're saving for retirement or that big purchase. If you had invested $10,000 when the fund was launched in May of last year, that very same $10,000 as of June 30th, 2020 would now be worth $14,000. That is some amazing growth right there. With just adding TEC to your portfolio, you get instant diversification of over 200 technology companies worldwide in your portfolio. That's why a lot of investors prefer ETFs, because of this instant diversification. You buy one ETF and you gain access to hundreds or thousands of companies in one go. With TEC, you gain access to companies like Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, Google, Amazon, MasterCard, Visa, and the list goes on. One of the other major benefits of holding an ETF like this is that it is self-cleansing. Now, what does that mean? That means that winners automatically rise to the top as they perform, and losers are dropped to get replaced by new companies that are performing better. So you always have the best 200 or so companies in this ETF. So you can see, while owning this one ETF, you get the benefit of owning the best 200 tech companies out there in the world. And when I say world, I mean it. This fund has companies that comes from the US, comes from Japan, comes from Canada, comes from Asia, comes from Latin America. You get access to the Middle East and the entire world. You get access to tech companies around the world with just one ETF. So you can see why owning one ETF could be better than buying individual companies, because it allows you to build wealth passively with no effort on your end. You just buy and hold the ETF, or sell it when you're ready to cash in your gains. If you have never purchased an ETF before, buying an ETF is as simple as buying a stock. All you do is you would type in your ticker symbol, in this case TEC, like you would any other stock with your brokerage account. Now, because this fund is managed by TD, doesn't mean you have to use TD. You can use whatever brokerage you're currently using to buy your shares. Instead of typing in MSFT for Microsoft, you would just type in TEC. And that's because an ETF trades on the stock market like any other stock. Instead of you getting one company when you purchase a stock, when you buy an ETF, you get a whole basket of companies. TEC could be a great addition to one of your tax-sheltered accounts, whether it's an RRSP or a TFSA. And even if you've maxed those two accounts out, you could always put TEC into your taxable account. Because the dividends are minimal, you won't have to pay much in taxes when it comes to dividends. Rather, as the price of this ETF goes up, you can sell on your own schedule and just pay capital gains tax. So that's all I had to say about TEC. So I hope you'll take all I've said into consideration when adding to your portfolio next. Make sure you've smashed that like and subscribe button if you haven't already done so. And don't forget to share this video with others that you know who could benefit from adding ETFs to their portfolio. Leave a comment letting me know what your thoughts are about TEC. I'll catch you guys in the next one.